Welcome, Pewter Report readers, viewers, and listeners to a brand new edition of the Pewter Report podcast, brought to you by our friends over at Briar Insurance. Protecting your assets starts with a company that you can count on. So whether it's auto, homeowners, flood, boaters, or business insurance, there's nobody better in the business to work with than the great people over at Briar Insurance. For more information about them, visit their website, briargreasinsurance.com, or give them a call at 813-876-4166. That's 813-876-4166. It's a Pewter post-game show and one of the more disastrous Pewter post-game shows that we will be having as the Bucs inexplicably blew and choked away a 14-point fourth-quarter lead to lose in dramatic fashion on a late field goal, losing to the Falcons 29-28. It was disastrous. It was egregious. It was awful. And the Bucs now sit at 7-7, do not control their own destiny. There's a ton to get into with this game, so let's just forget about the intros. I'm your host, Matt Matera. Joined with me live from Raymond James Stadium is Scott Reynolds of PewterReport.com. Scott, I'm almost speechless. I know we're about to begin the show, but I'm almost speechless seeing how the Bucs just turtled and inexplicably vomited on themselves losing this game tonight.
Yeah, Todd Bowles was absolutely livid, dropping a profanity-laced tirade from the podium, something Todd Bowles never does.
Never.
Essentially blaming the players, saying this is a players' team, and there are players that are not caring enough. And I asked Todd, how many of your players don't care? And he kind of shied away from that, but he made it clear that there are some guys that care more than others. And it's, this is a disaster. This is a disaster. You can feel that Todd Bowles feels the heat, that this season is slipping away, that this has gone from like catastrophe to apocalypse now. They have to win the next 3 games, and this defense can't stop anybody. Kirk Cousins tonight was almost as good as he was last year.
Yeah.
Only 3 touchdowns this time. Only 3. And over 300 yards. And as Adam Slavon pointed out to me, with the Buccaneers kicking the ball into the end zone so many times and giving the Falcons a start at the 35, it's hard to throw for over 300 yards.
Mm-hmm.
What do you throw for 350 or close to it? But it's hard to put up that many yards in this day and age because of the starting field position. Because instead of starting at the 20, starting at the 35, it's 15 more yards every single time the Bucs kicked off. So, but he did it, and he did it with Kyle Pitts just running roughshod over the secondary. It was absolutely ridiculous, the fact that they could not stop him. David Sills, we talked about him being a factor, and he certainly put up some points as well. Bijan Robinson, they couldn't stop him. And it's not so much, Matt, that Todd Bowles, the head coach, is in jeopardy of losing his job. It's Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, the defensive play caller, right? And we had a very interesting dichotomy here because, Todd Bowles was the one that was absolutely livid with himself, like after this game, and with the defense. But it was Baker Mayfield who actually took the podium and said, this one's on me. I have to execute. I've got to hit, a Mecca in stride on that final third down. And they did not protect the lead. They had the ball with just over 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and or fourth quarter, they could have kept possession and won the game with the offense in the field. But they couldn't do it. And we saw another defensive collapse by Todd Bowles' unit. And the Buccaneers are now 7-7. Dave Canales' Carolina Panthers are now in the lead in the division. And they have an opportunity to increase that lead with a win on Sunday against the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins was 30 of 44 for 373 yards and 3 touchdowns. And let's remember, Sills was wide open when Jamel Dean slipped and just dropped the ball. That would have put him over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. But this game, it was a true combined effort to lose this game because the interception by Baker Mayfield just makes sense to me. It's completely underthrown. You're over midfield. You're getting into field goal range. You have an 8-point game. So or you had an 8-point lead. So at the time, you're thinking, okay, even a field goal is fine. You have arguably the best kicker in the league with Chase Money McLaughlin. And you underthrow this ball so badly.
That's right.
Entire game, Baker, who I thought was awful tonight, except for a couple of pocket moments and, benefiting from having Mike Evans there. But all Baker Mayfield did tonight was airmail the ball over and over. Almost got Mike Evans freaking killed in his return back to the lineup. And now he's not airmailing it. Now he underthrows it where it gets picked. And all you have to do is run the ball a little bit. You get into field goal range. You make it an 11-point game at that point. And then even as bad as Tampa Bay's defense was tonight, you still probably hold on with that 2-score lead. But fine, he throws the pick. Maybe the defense can pick it up. How the F do you not recover that fumble? Forget about the Hassan Reddick strip sack.
Unreal.
3 Creamsicle jerseys. It was a sea of Creamsicle, not even the end zone or the fans in the crowd or the banners and everything like that. How do you have 3 guys, not a black jersey and a red helmet in sight, and yet the Atlanta Falcons pounce on that football? Utterly ridiculous. And then you don't get the ball at the end. Maybe the Bucs got screwed over there. But goddamn, man, you have a 3rd and 28. And as soon as I got to 4th and 14, I said, well, the Falcons are getting this first down. It's the same thing that we saw in L.A. 3rd and 15, no big deal. 3rd and 20 for the Patriots, 3rd and 25, no big deal. This is time and time again with Todd Bowles and this defense. So if he has trust in these guys, he's got the worst trust in the history of society, let alone football, to believe in these guys, to think that they would get a stop on 4th and 14, when it's the same thing we've seen over and over and over again. And for all the nice bright spots of the Bucs offense, with Mike Evans looking awesome in his return, Jalen McMillan having some big moments, Chris Godwin with an octopus, that was a really cool moment. We finally saw what this offense would look like with all 4 of their top receivers back. And it looked great for some moments. But even after the Bucs had the 2-point lead, all of a sudden the offense freaking turtles. And I don't understand the thought process at the end. Why are you throwing it on 2nd down to stop the clock when the Falcons don't have any timeouts, where you can run the ball, get down to the 2-minute warning, and then you could throw it on 3rd down after the 2-minute warning, but you give them the ball right before that? That made no sense as well. And you mentioned the Todd Bowles laden expletives and everything like that. This is what I had to say specifically. He goes, it's inexcusable. We don't make excuses. You've got to effing care enough where this shit hurts. You've got to effing care enough where this S hurts. The squad hurts. It's got to effing mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your livelihood. How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job? You can't sugarcoat that shit. It's inexcusable, and there's no effing answer for it. There's no excuse for it. That's what you tell them in the locker room. Look in the effing mirror. It's the most angry I've seen Todd Bowles since covering him, since watching him coach the New York Jets back in the day, and now with the Bucs. And you know what? I tweeted out a lot of F-bombs by Todd Bowles. Good to see him have some fire. But as many fans pointed out,
too little, too late.
Where the hell was
this? Too little, too late.
During the game. And I saw the camera had Mike Evans a lot after they allowed the 4th and 14. Mike is screaming up and down the sidelines. Good for Mike Evans, because he came back, legitimately put his life on the line when he almost got Jalen McMillan looking like a helicopter flipping around. Mike puts his guts on the line, has an amazing game coming back, and the whole team blows it the way that they did. It's, the Bucs have had some tough losses in, the past decade, really. This is up there as one of the worst when you consider what was on the line and where they're trying to go. I mean, man, even if they find a way to beat the Panthers, this team's not going anywhere.
No,
this team is a joke. They got no guts, no heart. And that was a pathetic choke job in the fourth quarter.
This team is soft. This is a soft football team. And I know that that's the worst thing you can tell a football player and a team that you're soft. But it's true. This team is soft. It's a soft football team. And you want to know why they brought Jason Pierre-Paul back? Is not to save the day. He's not going to save the day. But Jason Light and the front office knew that there's no fire starters on this defense. There's nobody that is going to hold somebody accountable. And that's kind of what Bowles was saying. This is a player-driven team, and it's like Antoine Winfield Jr., Vita Vea, Levante David have C's on their chest. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there are too many players on this defense especially that don't hold themselves accountable, that don't do what they're supposed to do, that don't execute, that don't have that sense of responsibility. And that's exactly what Bowles is saying. So all I'm doing is reiterating and rephrasing what Todd Bowles is saying. And we've been saying it, Matt, for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
It just took Todd Bowles to finally see the collapse, losing this game where you have a 2-touchdown lead with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And listen, Baker deserves some blame too. And he's not wrong for saying this one's on me, but this one's also on the defense too. I appreciate him saying this is not on the defense, this is on me, but it's on both of them because the offense didn't keep the ball, bad on them. Defense couldn't get a stop, bad on them. And for them to have one sack tonight, where Baker Mayfield was sacked 5 times, and there were 2 other sacks that were erased due to penalties. Holy shit, Matt. Look at these friggin' penalties that the Falcons had. This is insane. You talk about the Bucs getting screwed by the officials in some games. Every time the Bucs have been screwed by the officiating this entire season, the refs made up for it tonight. The Falcons had 19 penalties for 125 yards. The Bucs only had 4 penalties for 25. How do you lose a game where the opponent has 19 freaking penalties for 125 yards? Absolute choke job by this team.
Yeah, that's why you can't get on the ref's case at the end with the Hassan Reddick forced fumble. Like, it was a stupid call and very dumb, and it goes into everything that we've said about how bad the officiating is. But the gap in the yardage that you just read out, it's inexplicable. It's unacceptable that they would lose a game like this. Yeah. And for Todd Bowles, it does go hand in hand because some of the sacks that Baker took, dude, get rid of the damn football. I understand you want to be the hero, but like there was one, they went play action. The defenders are right in his face. It's like, dude, just roll out. They're right at midfield. Yeah. Just roll out and throw the ball away. And he starts tap dancing and he's stomping his feet and he's not going anywhere. Yeah. Dude, just live the fight another day. There was at least 3 sacks that he could have avoided. And he's missing guys. And then for the life of me, and I want to say it was J.P. Peterson. I'm not exactly sure who said it, but Bowles got asked a couple of questions about why didn't you continue to blitz?
That's right.
Every freaking time the Bucs didn't blitz, Kirk Cousins had time to throw, and he found guys. And pretty much every time the Bucs blitzed, he either threw the ball away or threw it down the field and didn't have the arm strength to get to the receiver. Just keep blitzing him. He's going to have to get rid of the ball quickly. He can't throw it down the field. And yet Todd's like, nah, we got to be able to play this type of defense. Why? You have a proven product that has worked when you blitz, and he just goes away from it. It makes absolutely no sense. I don't care if Kirk Cousins knows that the blitz is coming. It's idiotic is what it is.
You had a 3rd and 28. And I understand what Todd Bowles is saying in theory. Hey, they do a screen pass to Bijan. Everybody's coming up the quarterback, and it could be a touchdown. It very well could be. That's true. But you have to force the ball out of Kirk Cousins' hands quickly to force a quick throw because you can't give up 14 yards on 3rd and 28, and then that sets up a 4th and 14, and then surrender 21 yards. Because Kirk Cousins, that's why. Because the Creamsicles, that's why. Because Thursday night primetime games, because this coaching staff is not good enough to win games like this. And this team is too soft enough mentally where they can't execute and crucial situations, and this team is in free fall. I mean,
Yeah.
when we did the Pewter Report roundtable, I felt guilty because I felt, God, I'm going to catch so much flack from Buccaneer fans. But I'm like, I have a hard time saying that they're going to win one game, maybe two. And I picked them to lose to the Falcons tonight. Maybe I'm not more upset tonight like I was last week against the Saints because I envisioned this. I thought that the Falcons were going to win. And once they got that touchdown and they almost tied it up and got the 2-point conversion, I thought, oh, crap, the Falcons are going to win this game. I mean, that's just it. We have a massive amount of super chats we need to get to.
Yeah,
You folks have been
I figured like we'll give
fantastic.
our little spiel
Yeah.
each, and now we just got to. Yeah, we appreciate everyone. It's about to be 12:30 in the morning. We know people.
But
got
we're
work
gonna go.
tomorrow,
We got
so.
time. We're gonna go.
Yeah, yeah. I got my cup of coffee. I'm good to go. So we'll start it off with Steven Masella. Thank you for this $13.99 super chat. We appreciate it. Says, love the show. I can't believe the time management with a 14-point lead. Run the damn ball. Seriously, this is a game that gets him fired. The worst was with 2 minutes left. We were way too aggressive. Yeah, it was like, okay, I'm fine with throwing the ball a little bit when you're up 8 and you're trying to, really put in the dagger. But Baker, just you can throw the ball, but don't make any type of throw that will force it into a tough situation. And then Baker also said, I got a check down there. Well, just throw the check down in the first place because it's all about, getting yards, but keeping the clock moving and then not running the football.
Yeah.
I loved when they did the Wildcat with Bucky as the starting as the guy getting the ball. Yeah. I'm not saying they should have ran it in that type of situation, but the ground game was up and down in certain moments, but you got to lean on that in those moments. Yeah. And they just didn't. And it really didn't make any sense. And then, throwing it after the Falcons had no more timeouts and you still had second and third down. You want to throw it on third down? Fine. Be my guest. But kill that clock. Get to the 2-minute warning and then throw it. That's football IQ 101.
Here's what gets me too. We hear Todd Bowles and Josh Grizzard say, we're going to go with the hot-handed running back. Bucky Irving, I'm not trying to throw shade at Bucky. He had a 16-yard run. He finished with 16 carries for 60 yards. That's a 3.8-yard average, okay? Rachaad White had 1 carry for 20 yards. One carry, 20 yards, didn't touch the ball again, okay? The Bucs finished with 88 yards rushing. You take away that 20-yard run by Rachaad White, they have 68 yards. And they're averaging less than 4 yards a carry if that's the case. So I don't know. They didn't really run the ball too well tonight. So I know that it's, the analytics and stuff say run the ball, kill the clock and all that. But they tried that at the end and it wasn't working because they really couldn't establish the run all night. The best part about tonight was Mike Evans, Jalen McMillan coming back. Chris Godwin got a touchdown. Devin Culp, first catch, first touchdown. They scored 28 points. That should have been enough to win this game. It wasn't. And then when they had to be efficient on offense and win it, they couldn't. So it was just a mess. And you know what? For everybody that wants to, at this point in time, just lose out, get the higher draft pick, force the head coaching change, you're probably going to get your wish because and maybe this needs to happen. Maybe this needs to happen. Maybe this needs to. And listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. And you've watched some of the Amazon Prime series so far. I watched 2 episodes, right? A lot of Glazier talk in there, right? Ed, Brian, Joel, they're talking a lot, right? It's their team. They care a lot, and style points kind of matter to them. This was the Buccaneers' night. This was Amazon Prime docu-series, raise the flags, all leading up to today. This was a Buccaneer-centric broadcast tonight. This was a home game, Creamsicle, under the lights in Tampa, right? Against, Rich McKay and Raheem Morris, former Buccaneer people. And they lost in spectacular fashion. And this is not just an L. This is like an L plus. This is a loss that the Blazers, when they do their evaluation at the end of the season, This L is going to matter more than losing to the Rams on Sunday Night Football or losing to the Patriots at home. This L and that L that they took to the Saints, these are two L pluses. These losses matter more. And the fact that they're coming at the end of the season, really unforgivable. And it's going to end up costing Todd Bowles, I think, at the end of this.
And it's substantiated even more because it's the only game of the night on Thursday night. If they lose this game, while it'd still be awful, if they lose this game on Sunday at 1 o'clock, it gets talked about.
Right.
The community of Tampa certainly will be up in arms, but not everyone's nationally probably talking about it.
Right.
Tonight, it's all everyone's going to talk about.
Yeah,
and that's
right.
a really, really tough look.
Yep.
Lance Dalius, thank you for the $5 super chat, says, unless the Glazers want to rebuild, hire Robert Saleh as a head coach, hire a young coordinator, and grab a hotshot OC to call the plays. Done with this version of the Bucs. I like Robert Saleh, but in no way can they just go with a defensive coach and then get into the same situation of if you have a good offensive coordinator, then he's out the door and becoming a head coach.
Yeah, and I like Robert Saleh, but he didn't win in New York.
Yeah, let him be the defensive coordinator, which he wouldn't leave San Fran for a lateral type of job. But, right now we're just at ideas for how to get this team better. So, A-Train 701, thanks for the $9.99, says, we went from a 5-1 start. An MVP candidate and the number 1 seed in the NFC to an eerie replica to Gruden's 2008 Bucs. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I mean, and Gruden only lost 4 games down the stretch. He finished 9-7. I don't know that the Bucs are going to finish with 9 wins. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not picking them next week against Carolina. Not this defense. No.
They are falling flat on their faces, and they have no one to blame but themselves. It's not like the Falcons did anything special. Even though Kirk Cousins is the kryptonite to the Bucs. They didn't do anything completely outlandish. They just kept giving the ball to Bijan Robinson and then finding Kyle Pitts. Callie Bucks, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Says he was not asked about taking Pitts away. It was known all week. There's no reason why you can't take one guy away. Scared of Mooney? He wants to cuss now. Coach is inept. It just makes no sense. Kyle Pitts had 1 touchdown reception before this game. Then he has a hat trick tonight. And it was a little bit of a push off on Levante on that last one. And maybe he was out of bounds. But the other 2, just wide open, inexplicable how this guy just continue. Him and Kirk Cousins are like Brady and Gronk in their prime.
That's right.
Going against the Bucs. I keep saying inexcusable. I guess it's the buzzword of the night. It's just mind-numbingly bad over and over again. And I get it. You don't have Tyke Smith. That's not enough of an excuse to say why you can't stop a 5-win Falcons team that struggles to score points despite having Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it because, again, it's not like the refs were screwing the Bucs over all night. I mean, you can't complain about the refs really when they have that many, when they've got that many penalties called for the Falcons. But if you're going to argue a call, I mean, it looked to me like Pitts' elbow was down, right? Isn't that what you saw, Matt? So
the way the replay was, it kind of looks like one cheek on his rear end may have hit like a millisecond before the elbow, and maybe that's what they're going by. But it was very close.
Yeah.
The Real Maverick, thanks for the $2 super chat, says, Kirk, 1,158 yards and 11 touchdowns in 3 games against Todd Bowles. That is vomit-inducing.
It is, and again, that's I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, we talked about this on Wednesday, or actually on Tuesday's show. We talked about it what day is it? Thursday. We talked about it yesterday on the show. We talked about it this morning on the Pewter pregame show. Kirk Cousins is Superman against the Buccaneers, and he's Clark Kent against everybody else. And it doesn't matter what he does against everybody else. It's what he does against the Buccaneers that matters. And he kills them. He absolutely kills them. He is a buck killer. And he very well cost Todd Bowles his job. And you know what? At the end of the day, he might be a savior for Buccaneers fans when you look at it
Maybe.
after the season.
He's not even Clark Kent against other teams. He's like Clark Kent's neighbor. And
Exactly,
yet
yeah.
turns into Superman.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Stephen Masala, thank you for the $2.79 super chat. Malcolm Harvey, thank you for this $4.99. Says shameful, disgusting, pathetic, distasteful, inexcusable. All good ways to describe how the Bucs blew this game. They were up 14 points. And again, right on the cusp of field goal range. Not there just yet, but when Baker throws that interception, and at that point they were up 8 points, but still, I mean, the clock's ticking down. Find a way to get a stop. Baker said it's going to haunt me after the game. I think what's even more haunting is how the Bucs didn't jump on that football when Darnell Mooney fumbled it. That one I don't know. I don't understand how they didn't have it.
I don't either.
Hunter Austin, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Wearing 9350, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Says first 100-yard game for Pitts since his rookie season. This is year 5. Pitts only scored more than 1 touchdown in a game twice in his career, both versus the Bucs. His highest single season touchdown output is 4. Had 3 tonight. Yeah, I mean that shows how bad this Bucs team was tonight, and really just the last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we joked that like, wow, the bye's coming at a good time. Turns out the bye couldn't have come at a worse time because they've only been horrible ever since.
It's true.
John V23 on X, thanks for the $4.99. Says Falcons had 20 penalties, a drop touchdown that resulted in 0 points. Mike Evans went off. You had him to 3rd and 28 with no timeouts, I might add. And you still lost by bowls.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're looking for silver linings, and this is probably one of them. I don't know how he survives this. I mean, I know there's not a lot of great coaching candidates in 2026, but here we are. This team is 7-7 now with 3 games to go, and I don't see them winning any of them. I don't. I hope I'm wrong for Bucs fans' sake that still want this team to win, but I don't see it. I mean, are they better than the Panthers? How can you say that? They play them twice. Yeah. The Miami Dolphins are on a heater right now. They won 4 in a row. They won 5 out of the last 6. They're trending up. The Bucs are trending down. Are they going to go to Miami? What's Devon Achane going to do against this defense?
Ugh.
He might be more explosive than Bijan Robinson. I'm just saying. So
probably
it sucks because it sucks because Mike Evans played his ass off tonight. I mean, he put his body on the line. Jalen McMillan to come back made some absolutely great plays. You feel bad for that. I didn't have any video of it because I didn't get out there quick enough, but Mike was slamming his helmet against the wall, walking to the locker room. He was livid. And there were some screams when we entered the press conference room, which is adjacent to the locker room. There's a closed door there. They were yelling and screaming in the locker room. I couldn't make out who it was, but there were people. I've never really heard that this year. And I mean, we've walked in the Bucs locker room and we've seen dejection. Yeah. But there was yelling and screaming in the Bucs locker room. And
good on
honestly,
you. Good.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm sick of this kumbaya crap. It's not working.
Yeah.
David Ammons, thanks for the $5 super chat. It really sucks to be back in the pre-Brady era of Bucs football, but here we are. I mean, they will benefit from the fact that, let's just face it, the NFC South is not good. And even though the Bucs just lost to the 2 worst teams in the division, they will be in the hunt just based on how bad the NFC South is. But,
that's right.
Hey, if Atlanta gets a new coach after this season and the Fighting Dave Canales continue to build up, the Bucs could drop all the way to third in this division.
Yeah.
Nicholas Rodriguez, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Says John Gruden is on the way.
Yeah, so I watched 2 episodes of the Amazon Prime. I watched the very first one, right, where it's from 1976 through 79. Then I watched Captain of the Ship, which is another one. Trent Cooper did an amazing job on this series. I think there's 10 episodes. I've watched 2 of them. I watched the John Gruden one, which took place from when he was traded for by this organization all the way through to the NFC Championship game where they beat the Eagles. And I'm watching this, and I lived it, and I've made no bones about it. Gruden's my favorite Buccaneer coach, always will be. Love Bruce Arians to death, love Tony Dungy to death. To me, it's John Gruden. He's just my kind of guy, right? I still talk to John to this day. We had him on the podcast. Having said all that, I mean, I'm sitting here, and I was talking with my brother Jeff, who is in town to shoot the game, as well as my wife and son, and we're watching this, and I'm just like, this Buccaneer team is so far away from that Buccaneer team. And I don't mean Hall of Famers. I don't mean talent. I mean edge. I mean tenacity. I mean physical toughness. I mean accountability. And yes, there's some Hall of Fame players that were being interviewed. Rondé Barber, Simeon Rice, Ring of Honor guy, Mike Allstott, John Gruden, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, John Lynch, the creme de la creme of Buccaneer royalty. But all those guys were absolute badasses. Tough, physical, accountable players. And I just was sitting here watching that whole hour, and I'm like, this Buccaneer team is so far away from that 2002 team, and even in some respects, the 2020 team. Brady brought the intensity. Shaq, brought the sacks, but it was Jason Pierre-Paul. It was Ndamukong Suh that brought the edge, and that's necessary, man. It is. You've got to have those types of players. And when Bowles is at the podium and he's saying, we have guys that don't care, this is a player-led team, and we need to fix this shit, it's like, that's what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. And that's why getting alphas matter. That's why getting players that have some premise to their game where they're going to hold players accountable, call shit out so it doesn't fester, so you don't have laissez-faire, lackadaisical players that are getting bored out there in the field. Like, that's what Jason Pierre-Paul was. And he's not going to come save the day. It's too late. But I'm just saying, they need that type of guy, but younger and for the future. They need another Warren Sapp. They need another, Rondé Barber. They need another Hardy Nickerson. They need guys that aren't going to put up with shit, because this Buccaneer team is shit right now. And Maine's going to say that.
Yeah, they just don't have guts.
No,
they don't have guts.
No.
And, we've never said, no one has ever said, like, Mike Evans is a diva type of wide receiver or anything like that.
He's a dog.
He cares so much. I want him to yell next week. I want him to yell at practice.
Yeah.
Maybe for one time, Mike thinks a little selfishly and, starts maybe making it about him a little bit more, and others will, maybe step up because of it.
I agree.
Flame Pillar Diaz, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says awful play calling and he's blaming the players. I think it goes hand in hand. On the one hand, Todd's got to know his guys aren't going to get the damn job done. So call something that might help a little bit more. Wink, wink. Effing blitz more.
Damn the torpedoes.
Yeah. But on the other side of it as well, maybe, I don't know, 25 other defenses in the NFL get the stop on 3rd and 28 and 4th and 14.
Yeah.
It goes both ways, but ultimately it's going to be Todd Bowles that falls because of it. Tate Miller, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Completed defensive overhaul is needed. Parrish, Yaya, Cansey, Vea, and Tyke are the only players that should be back. All new coaches as well.
They need new coaches, man. They do. If Todd Bowles somehow survives this, he probably has to give up play calling, hire a defensive coordinator, and get new coaches. These coaches are failing these players. I'll say more after this season. I can't really say. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna be curious to think what Rondé Barber has to say about this. I want to get. I want to get Rondé's opinion on what's happening with the Buccaneers. I saw him before the game today. And the good news is we're going to have a podcast tomorrow. Noon, Matt. I think it's what we've agreed to, right? Noon.
Yes.
Todd Bowles will speak virtually to us at 8:30 tomorrow. And so we'll have a podcast tomorrow. But then we will have on Monday at 4:00, special guest, Bucs Hall of Famer Rondé Barber. I was texting with Rondé after the game. He's as livid as I am. God. Oh, man. So do not miss Rondé on Monday's show, and then please watch the Rondé Barber show on WFLA on their YouTube channel because he does a fantastic job at that. His podcasts come out on Wednesday mornings, so be sure you watch Rondé Barber show. But watch Rondé on Monday on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel, on the Pewter Report podcast. Let's get back to these super chats.
Ask 3, thank you for the $9.99. Says Todd and Jason need to go, and honestly, who on this roster is really safe? Thank you, guys. I don't think Jason needs to go. I think Jason needs more of a recalibration because I do think probably other coaches find more ways to win this season than the games that the Bucs have slipped in. Who's on the safe? Who's safe? Most of the players under contract and with the contract extensions, even though
I will say this,
contract extensions haven't worked.
Yeah, I mean, it is possible to salvage guys like Zion McCollum, Yaya Diaby, Jacob Parrish. It just takes the right coaching staff to where it's like there has to be a fire lit, though. And this coaching staff they don't like fires. They don't like fires at all, right? And so in some ways they put up with it. They tolerate this. Then they get pissed when this stuff happens. But it's like by not practicing hard, by having all these walkthroughs, and you're creating the problem, and these players they're not reaching anywhere close to their max potential because the coaching is so poor in the staff. And then, so I think what you do is, and you're right, Matt, you can't just sit there and just start over with 53 new players, right? You have players under contract, but some of these players I think can be salvaged, especially the younger ones, the guys with the rookies and on their rookie deals, even Yaya heading into year 4. I think if he's surrounded by the right coaches that get the most out of him, like Rondé Barber, he'll tell you, like, he didn't really learn crap under Herm Edwards. It wasn't until Mike Tomlin came in. Seriously. And I'll probably get him to say that. I mean, no disrespect to Herm, because sometimes you reach people and sometimes you need a different voice. Mike Tomlin made Rondé Barber, and tapped into what was there and got everything out of it. And that's what I'm saying. So some of these players have a chance to be salvageable, but not with this coaching staff, especially on defense.
Talking about that, there's no fire with this coaching staff and no fire starters. They don't want to start fires because they're too busy being cozy in a nice little warm blanket. And it's cute and it's cozy for them. And that's why they don't actually run practices and it's all walkthroughs. They need fire starters, someone to get.
Here's the thing. It's too cerebral. They think with walkthroughs, because Todd Bowles and some of these coaches are very cerebral in nature. If you pay attention, guys, we're putting the game plan in and we're going to walk through it and you should digest it and stuff. And that doesn't work. Some of these players, they're kinetic learners. They have to go full speed and do it. Some players can learn by watching film. Some players can learn by chalkboarding on the whiteboard, right? The X's and O's. Other players need to actually do it and do it at full speed to really feel it. To not just walk to your landmark or jog, but actually run to your landmark in zone defense. I saw that firsthand coaching Pop Warner football. You have some kids that I can show them to play and they got it. Other kids, I can show them to play and I literally had to take their body and physically say, you're going to walk over here right before the snap and then you're going to drop right here. And then once they did it with their bodies, they got it because they're kinetic learners. Then you have people like Peyton Barber, right, who was like dyslexic. Like the playbook did him no good because he couldn't read. He couldn't figure it out. So he had to be a kinetic learner. So their approach is just not working. These players are not making plays and they're not developing. And it's
not getting through because it's been a pattern of this for so long. Yes. So enjoy your warm blanket and comfortability because you're going to be uncomfortable soon when the Glazers clean house. Baby Boy 2 Demand, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says Baker and ineffective zone defense cost us. Shame. Yeah, for sure. I remember Bruce first year. Bowles was the defensive coordinator, but they had all these young guys, and they just said, I think he said, we're just going to play pick me football where. Oh, that's the guy in front of me. That's who I'm going to guard on this play. And they just played old school football man to man because the communication wasn't there to play zone.
Yeah.
I never want to see them play zone again. I'd rather them get burned on some deep balls and be more effective being close to these receivers than seeing Kyle Pitts wide open.
Kyle Pitts ate him alive today in zone.
Yeah. Mike Wells, thank you for the $1.99, says that's got to be Bowles' nail in the coffin. Yeah, unless they win 3 in a row, which again is unlikely, it's really tough to see how this is going to be back this season.
I agree.
Trey Alderson, Cloudy Air, thanks for the $4.99, says we made Kirk's career game, and now we just likely revived Kirk's career again. Kirk must love us. Yeah, he should buy property in Tampa because he definitely has a good time playing the Bucs. There's no doubt about
Folks,
that.
I did a Pewter Pulse on Kirk Cousins earlier this week because I knew this was going to happen. I'm not going to talk about my prop bets tonight, but I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I knew.
Coast to coast, Kyle.
Put my money where my mouth was tonight, and I'm unfortunate that I won so much money tonight.
Coast to coast, Kyle. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Says if Bull spent as much time looking at the playbook as he does looking at the dessert menu, damn, we wouldn't be in this mess. This team couldn't win the Outback Bowl. Now the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Todd Bowles is a good man. He's a good guy. You know, I mean. He's a very good person. He just shouldn't be the football coach for this team anymore. But he's a good guy. I can't say anything negative about Todd personally.
I agree.
We've had conversations. I mean, when my dad died, Todd pulled me in his office and he was just like, if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. I mean, you don't have to do that. I mean, other coach probably going to do that. I mean, he's a good man. The game's passing him by.
He's struggling as a coach, but
yes.
Aren't personal insults and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So. Cali Bucks, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Says Bowles could no longer hide. His incompetence was on full display tonight. Can't scheme to take one guy away and can't manage timeouts. His time is up.
Yep.
I hated. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you could see what we saw tonight, where Bowles is dropping F-bombs and S-bombs, rapid fire. Never seen that from Todd Bowles ever.
No.
And I'm just sitting here going like this is. I mean, it's not the beginning of the end. I think last week was the beginning of the end, but we're at the end here. Like you said, Matt, I think the only way, maybe minds even get changed. And when I say minds, I mean Blazers' mind, not my mind or your mind, Peter People or Matt Matera's mind. But unless they go win 3 games and have just some crazy resurgence towards the end, maybe minds get changed. But right now, I mean, they're 1-5 since the bye.
Yeah. And barely won that one. So they had a 3-game home stretch and they went 1-2 and they lost to a team that had 2 wins and 4 wins. Now 3 wins and 5 wins because of the Bucs.
Yep.
Justin Montag, thank you for the $1.99. Says, remember when this was the closest locker room? Yeah, friendship's great, but when you're all buddy-buddy and you're not holding each other accountable, doesn't mean shit.
I saw this team go to the NFC Championship back in 1999 under Tony Dungy when the defense hated the offense. You talk about disruptive locker room. You talk about finger pointing. I mean, Chidi Hanatu called out Trent Dilfer in my face to the question I asked Hanatu. Do you have faith in Trent Dilfer? He said, you mean faith in that guy? And he pointed across the locker room. He's like, no. And I was like, holy shit, I mean, I asked the question. So it's like Keyshawn Johnson and Warren Sapp were like this. Keyshawn Johnson and John Gruden were like this. They won a Super Bowl. Sometimes kumbaya and team chemistry is not what you need. Sometimes you need a little friction in the locker room. Sometimes you need finger pointing. Not to where it fractures the team and creates these fractions where you can't win, but where it holds people accountable. And there needs to be some finger pointing here. And not just from lacking. Matt Matera and Scott Reynolds and from you Bucs fans. They need to point some fingers at themselves. And I think we heard some of that tonight in the locker room. Again, I couldn't make out who was yelling, but I've never heard yelling in the Bucs locker room in years. So that was.
I'd love to know. I won't blame the players if they don't want to say who was yelling specifically, but man, I would love to.
If I had to guess, Mike Evans was one of them because he was.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he was yelling on the sideline.
Yeah.
So that definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe JPP was yelling. Who knows?
Maybe.
He was there. He was standing behind Bowles for a lot of this.
Yeah.
Casey Cranford, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Mike Wells, thanks for the $1.99. So Falcons had
That's a great
19
point.
penalties and we still lost. That's
That's
one
a
of the
great
most
point.
disgusting things
Yeah.
I've ever seen. Zach Jarvis, thanks for the $4.99. Says just left the game. I booed at Todd Bowles as loud as I could. Disappointing, but expected.
You're not alone.
Tweetouts.
Yeah, you're not alone.
I said after the Falcons got that 4th and 14, I said it's shocking, but also not surprising. You know, it's just what this team has done this year. Oh, sorry, just hit that one. Chris GD2QP, thanks for the $2 super chat, says a complete team failure. Defense is just embarrassing. And while special teams was good for the most part, Zion McCollum went off sides on that field goal by the Falcons, and it led to a touchdown. It
on
made
the
it
next play. On the next play.
And that's just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for you.
Yep.
Casey Cranford, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says no words, but thank you, Matt and SR, for your hard work. Hey, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
This is essentially an open forum for Bucs fans to be angry and voice your opinions. So thanks for the kind words, but we understand your anger right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kyle Driver, thank you for the $20 super chat. Says 28 years of watching this team, and a lot of the time, a lead never feels enough. Something's got to change, even if it's not a coaching change. Something needs to be done. Don't want to sneak in the playoffs and lose. So tired of 10-7 at best.
Yeah, and so here's the thing: if I get the Blazers might be thinking, okay, well, if we fire Todd Bowles, like who's out there, and they don't want to go backwards. They don't want to fire Greg Schiano for a 4-win team, and then hire Lovie Smith, and they win 2 games the next year, right? They don't want to go back to the dark ages. That scares them to death. When I say dark ages, I mean from 2009 when they fired John Gruden to 2019 when Bruce Arians went 7-9 his first year. Like that's a whole decade where they didn't make the playoffs. They didn't have enough to get into the postseason. They don't want to do that. They're scared of going back to that. But here's the thing too: if you hang on to this coaching staff, and they got 10 wins last year, and if they slide to 9 this year, do you think they're going to rebound and shoot up the next year without any serious changes? I don't think so. I think this is kind of like this is the slide, and you don't want to hang on too long, because then it's like, all right, well, they finished 9-8 and didn't make the playoffs. Carolina won the division, or they finished 8-9. Carolina won the division, and we'll give Todd one more chance.
Yeah,
that might be 6 wins the next year, and then you've really pissed off your fan base, and you burned a lot of time, spinning your wheels. So I don't know.
And there's so many questions. I mean, we'll have the whole offseason to address, but there's so many questions about like major positions and what do you do? I know Baker will be here next year, but like, what do you do with him in terms of when he wants a new contract? Because he's certainly not playing like a $50+ million QB, but we'll save that for
31 next year.
That's
31 next year. So
and he's not playing well.
I know.
That was obvious today.
Yeah.
Mr. King, thanks for the $5 super chat, says you let 2 division-winning coaches out of the building. Baker has been most of the problem on offense. Players and himself going to get Bowles fired. Well, the running game has certainly taken a step back, and that, I think, has impacted Baker, no doubt about it. But Baker is missing guys high, now low, wide. Some of it's on the receivers as well, but just not good football by Baker. I think taking too many sacks that aren't the fault of the offensive line as well. Neil Patel, thank you for the $1.99, says, still control our own destiny, but I have no hope. Yeah, to me, there's one true bright side and then another thing you can hang your hat on. The latter of that is what Neil just said of they could still beat the Panthers twice and win the division. It's not likely. And then the other thing to me is just having your top 4 receivers back. Mike, Chris Godwin Jr., Emeka Egbuka, and we saw how special this group could be when they're all healthy. And it was beautiful contributions from all 4 of them. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough due to other mistakes not made by those players.
Yeah, I mean, so 6 catches, 132 yards from Mike, 4 catches, 64 yards from Emeka, 4 catches, 20 yards, but a touchdown and a 2-point conversion from Chris Godwin got the octopus, right? And 2 catches for 38 yards from Jalen McMillan. So that's kind of what you want to see. Everybody has their own little chunk, and then of course Mike just goes nuts because Mike does that against the Falcons. Great to see.
I will admit,
and I'll say this: if they are going to sweep the Panthers, they're going to have to win games like 38-35, like they did in Seattle. It's going to have to be a shootout where Baker is on point and he's lighting up the field with these guys against a Panthers defense that can play okay at times. I mean, they did that against Green Bay, but do you have any faith that that's going to happen? And it happened twice? I don't. Where's the evidence to suggest that it will?
Right. Good players in the secondary. Good players in the secondary as well for Carolina. Baker is going to have to play like Oklahoma Baker, who's used to not having a defense when he was playing for the Sooners. I will admit, I was doing the math a little bit with Mike when he got over 100 yards. I'm like, okay, what does he need now? Another – he still needs like 240 or 260 yards per game. So,
a game,
still not in there for 1,000. Yeah. But Garrett Lemon, thank you for the 1999 super chat. We appreciate it. It says, it's bad when you win 300 on a parlay, betting on Kirk Cousins to throw over 300, Kyle Pitts to score, and the Falcons to win. I've never put money against the Bucs ever. Bowles got to go, but go Bucs. See, that's called hedging your happiness, and I think that's okay. If you know your team well enough to know they're going to suck at this, this, and this, and it's going to get you so angry and frustrated, you might as well be compensated for it. So,
Matt,
winning that money.
Matt, I know you're going to be proud of me. I won $651 tonight. I had a 5-leg parlay tonight. First time I've ever done that.
I love it.
And most of it, honestly, was on the Falcons because I expected this. I've seen enough of Todd Bowles' defense that it's like if this team is going to cause me some misery, at least I'm going to profit from it. And it sucks. No, I don't want to. I'd much rather have had the opposite happen, but.
No, that's a huge win. Congrats. And I hit on a lot as well. The Cousins, the over on the passing, everything Bijan did, that all hit. So I think a lot of people won a lot of money tonight.
I hope so.
I hope so. The Bucs.
Just like we saw here. If this team's going to cause you misery, at least profit from it. So
Leadus Productions, thanks for the $4.99. Says it's hard to believe SR and Matty aren't Bucs fans, LOL, listening to this.
So here's how I classified. I don't speak for Matt, but like I've always said, I want this team to do well for you, our audience. We serve you, the Pewter people. You're happy. You're on cloud 9. You're fulfilled when your team is winning, right? And that makes us happy. And listen, it's not like we need clicks or whatever for wins. I mean, we're gonna have more people tonight watching than we did like when they beat the Saints back in week 8, 23-3, and looked really good doing it. So it's not even about the business model. I just want to see happy people. I want to see happy Bucs fans. And then for the players' sake, there's a lot of players in this team that do give a damn, that go through injuries. For Chris Godwin's sake, God, I want Chris Godwin to win. I mean, that dude, his body has been punished. For Mike Evans to fight back, to come back and have such a game, I want Mike Evans to win. So it's not about being a Buccaneer fan. It's I want our audience. I want you guys to feel good about this team. And I like watching really good football. And this has been my job, my charge for 30 years, to watch this Buccaneer team and analyze it as best I can and keep it real at the same time. And I want to see good football. And I remember coming home depressed sometimes during like the Jameis Winston years and all that, and the Lovie Smith years. And I had to tell my wife, I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to watch Sunday Night Football. I don't even care who's playing. I just have to see what good football looks like. Because for 3 hours, I saw absolute shit football at Raymond James Stadium. And I like watching shit football. I like watching good football, specifically good defense. So this pains me when I see the Falcons get friggin' 7 sacks, and they had 2 more that didn't count because of penalties.
Right.
And the Bucs come up with 1 sack. Oh, Hassan Reddick got a sack, and then they couldn't recover the ball. Just sad.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I want it for our fans, the Pewter people, who are fantastic. I want it for the players because a lot of them are great to talk to, and they do care about winning. And I
And
also
members of the
enjoy
organization
covering,
too. Yeah,
yes, as an organization as well. And then I enjoy covering a winning football team.
I
I
do too.
like that we get to
Yes.
talk about playoff games and
Yes.
playoff games because it's good for Pewter Report as well in the YouTube
Yeah.
channel. So it's kind of like all encompassing,
I
really.
agree. Yeah.
Cam to serve 144. Thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says Bowles and Baker are not it. ... Joe Burrow, get in line. I mean, everybody that doesn't have a quarterback is going to want Joe Burrow. I've heard the New York Jets talking, or Jets like people talking about Joe Burrow. The Jets have draft capital to give to the Bengals, and the Bucs do. So, yeah, that's a pipe dream. The Real Maverick, thanks for the $2 super chat. Says, imagine calling Sap's team soft.
Yeah.
Need Sap.
I would never, because it never was.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
K-Lear 2, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, to be fair to Grizzard, on that 2nd and 14 call, Baker threw a bad ball. If he was accurate, it would have been a first down, and the Bucs would have iced the game. Yeah, I don't necessarily blame Josh Grizzard for that play. It was a bad throw by Baker. And if you're going to put all this trust and money in Baker Mayfield, you can't handcuff him in, those winning situations.
Yep, I agree.
Trey Alderson Cloudier, thank you for the $4.99. Says this passive coaching style does not work. Bowles is losing this team because of a lack of leadership from Bowles himself. It's like Bowles watches the Super Bowl game where he was masterful in that performance when the Bucs beat the Chiefs. And he's like, well, if I drop everybody back in coverage and I just let my edge rushers get to the quarterback over and over, there's going to be nobody open. Right. It's like, dude, you don't have those edge rushers. You don't have those guys that will consistently generate pressure. So you have to try something different. And when he tries to blitz, it works. And then it just stops.
Yep.
It just stops.
One sack tonight against Kirk Cousins is inforgivable. It's just not.
On the last drive
of inexcusable. The game. Yeah, it's inexcusable.
FLTB 7600, thanks for the $1.99. Says Jason Light deserves some blame as well. Yeah, I mean, this goes back to just not having the right guy.
Yeah, it's his team.
Yep. Hunter Austin, thanks for the $4.99. Says listening to you two is as cathartic as it can be after the last month and a half of Bucs games. I hope the Glazers are Pewter Report readers, listeners, and viewers.
They are. I hear through the grapevine. They listen, they watch. Wouldn't you? If somebody was doing stories, podcasts, videos, Pewter Pulse videos about your team, wouldn't you watch? I would. Be curious to hear what they have to say. And all I want to do is help this team get better. Any criticism I have, anytime I'm calling for someone to get fired, it's because I want better. I want this thing to be where it should be. And there is talent on this team. There's enough talent on this team to win. It's not being maximized. Do they need more talent? Absolutely. The job is not done, Jason Light. And I try to dish out some constructive criticism. It's never personal,
Yeah.
Got a good relationship with Jason Light, a good relationship with Todd Bowles, good relationship with a lot of people in that building. But they got to hear some things, and sometimes when you're in the echo chamber, and your own thing, and these are your players you draft, so you're like a little partial to them, but it's like, hey, Chris Braswell didn't have any instincts. He's not a good football player. You missed. It's a bust, right? Maybe they know that by now. I think they do because that's why they drafted David Walker right in the 4th round then next year.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, myself, Matt, Bailey, Josh, Adam, we're going to keep pointing this stuff out to them. And we're going to scream at them until they hear us.
Yeah, and I think a big difference for why people like Pewter Report is we give more reasons as to why something is struggling or what is working versus just generic overhauls, which separates us from the pack a little bit. The Real Maverick, thanks for the $2 super chat, says 0 takes, 14-point lead. Defense gives up a touchdown in less than 4 minutes. It was a choke job of a 4th quarter.
Yes. Yeah.
David Ammons, thanks for the $5, says Cousins had the cleanest uniform on the field. The cheerleaders had more dirt on them. Yeah, I mean, they had one hit. I'm trying to remember who hit him in the first half, and then you didn't get hit again until, the Reddick play at the end.
Yeah.
Ryan H. with a $49.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Ryan. We really appreciate that. Says, this season has broken my heart. A season that started with so much promise has imploded before our eyes.
Yeah.
Can't believe there are some people that think Todd's seat is cold. We can't run this staff back next year. Shaking my head. Imploded is absolutely correct. They've gotten weaker and weaker by the month when they should be getting stronger and stronger later in the season. It starts from the top down. A lot of issues with the assistant coaching. And, Todd Bowles said the players got to look in the mirror. He's got to look in the mirror as well. He has a lot to blame with this too.
Do not miss, Matt, let's just get a clean screen here real quick. Remember that where you are. Do not miss Monday's show. It will be worth your time. If you can't catch it live, make sure you watch this show on Monday. I've had some conversations with Rondé Barber. We're of like mind on a lot of topics. So you're going to want to hear it, not from Scott Reynolds, not from Matt Matera. We're just journalists, but you're going to want to hear it from a Hall of Famer, from Rondé Barber. Monday,
can't wait.
4 o'clock.
Looking forward to that one. Meets McGee, thanks for the $5, says, I hate the ho-hum attitude by the players. Like Mike Jordan made a mistake and do this. Oh, well, reaction. Reminds me of Donovan Smith. Wow. Donovan Smith ricochet shot on this post-game show.
Yeah.
Jay Wolfskiel, thanks for the $9.99. Appreciate it. Virgin Boys, thanks for the $1.99. Says, this hurts a lot after watching the documentary.
Yeah, especially when you watch some of those episodes when you saw Buccaneer greatness and you saw the intensity of Gruden. Now, I haven't gotten to the Bruce Arians stuff yet. I was here for all of it. I remember it. But, like, the intensity that John Gruden brought to this team when he told Brad Johnson before that first minicamp practice, and I was there for it. I watched it. I watched John Gruden defense, and he went to Brad Johnson and says, we're going to declare war on our defense.
I watched that clip. Yeah,
defense, and they did. And I remember talking to John Lynch after that first minicamp practice. He was so pissed. He said, nobody does that to us. We've never had that happen in practice before, And I was like, well, isn't that a good thing, John? Because your offense sucked before, under Tony, it sucked. So isn't this a good thing? He's like, yeah, but that's not going to happen again. And it did. And together they won a Super Bowl because you had. I'm telling you, analytics are great, guys. I'm not shitting on analytics, and that has a part in the game. This is a football game that's played on emotion, intensity, momentum. There are things that you cannot measure or quantify. And those are intangibles. That's why they call them intangibles, because they're not tangible. And this team is missing some serious intangibles. And again, he's not going to save the day. But if anything, just having JPP back in the building, bringing some intangibles, you heard that out of Larry Foote's mouth, right? And what Larry Foote said was kind of damning about the coaching staff. If you go back and read his quote or go back and watch his clip, he's kind of telling on himself a little bit there. Not him, but I think around the building. It matters. It matters. You're not going to find a Super Bowl champion that doesn't have somebody that raises the temperature in the room, that sets the place on fire. You have to have that. Whether
you absolutely do.
The head coach, whether it's a personality like a Warren Sapp or Hardy Nickerson back in the day to help turn the Buccaneers and the Buccaneers. If you don't have that personality, this is still the Buccaneers. If Hardy Nickerson didn't help turn the tide, and then Warren Sapp and John Lynch and Derek Brooks come alongside him, it is about attitude, and this team's attitude sucks right now. It's just so passive and soft, and it pains me to see that because it is the exact opposite of the football I like to watch. It's not just two offensive-minded coaches that have won Super Bowls here in John Gruden and Bruce Arians. It was two fire starter coaches that would light one Buck place on fire at times with their demeanor, and that's leadership, and that matters. And this team is missing that.
Certainly is. I haven't watched the documentary yet. I planned on watching it during the weekend, and I am going to watch this documentary. I mean, it's amazing for so many reasons, but I don't know. I got a really sour taste in my mouth right now from this loss. Maybe I do need to watch it ASAP so to get a little more positivity. But this team, man. Bart Harley Jarvis, thank you for the $6.99 super chat. Says Todd Bowles Only coach to ever have a losing season with Tom Brady. Enough said. Mike's reaction told the story. Bowles lost the room. Season over.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't know who Mike was yelling at, but yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of getting there, though. When Bowles starts calling out, like, the players for not caring enough, he's like, this is a player-led locker. I mean, Bowles is a pretty accountable guy, but at the same time, he also was really pointing the finger at his players for the first time I've ever seen that happen, which is crazy. But necessary.
I wish you would have done it earlier. It is necessary. I wish you would have done it earlier.
Yeah.
Jay Wolfskill, thanks for the $9.99, says Bowles' defense is either outdated or bad. Does he not know Kyle Pitts is an eligible receiver? That's a good way of putting it. Kings are awful. Thanks for the $2 super chat. It says Clint Kubiak, welcome to Tampa Bay. Also, shout out Kings are awful was on the Pewter Game Day show, super chatting us while at the game. So hate runs deep.
Yeah.
Chris GD2QP, thanks for the $5 super chat. Says so tired of knowing that every time we score, the other offense is going to just waltz down the field and put up 7. Every single time the Bucs scored, the Falcons either scored a touchdown or there was the one fumble by Bijan Robinson. It's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Utterly ridiculous. Yeah. Like, the offense, sure, they made their mistakes, but they don't even get a second to exhale.
I know.
Because the defense immediately squanders the lead, and you're tied up once again. You got to do it all over again.
Unreal.
Mopar Buck, thank you for this $19.99 super chat. Says, since week 10, Baker has thrown the most uncatchable passes to wide receivers in the league. We all watch him overthrow, underthrow, or just simply not throw. Baker can't be let off any hook. He's supposed to make plays. End of story. Cannot agree with you more. Baker has played his worst football as of late. And I get the injuries are piling up. But if they are bad enough, then damn, he shouldn't be playing. And he should learn from his lesson back in Cleveland because, this is what? Baker's 3rd year with the Bucs? I think right now there's a case to be made that this is his worst year with the Bucs. Yeah. Clearly, last season was his best season in Tampa Bay. And, credit to Liam Cohen for a lot of that help. But a lot of Baker's throws just aren't even remotely close. And, not everyone's going to be insanely wide open from time to time. He's missing a lot of throws. And, once again, almost got Mike Evans killed on throwing that ball way too high.
This is a picture from Cliff Welch where Mike is grabbing his back because he had a Jalen McMillan treatment, with his neck and back getting upended like that. It was a scary scene, I mean, Mike's tough, and it wasn't as bad as what happened to Jalen for sure. But I mean, Baker Mayfield is part of the problem right now. Hopefully, he can be part of the solution, but he's not playing that great, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens if he's made to play in this contract here. I think he and Jason kind of like went into the season saying, "All right, we're going to guarantee the last year of your deal, and we'll address it. We'll give you your pay bump after this season." But nobody has expected him to play as poorly as he's played, especially since the bye week.
It's tough to replicate what he did last year, but this has been a big, big regression.
It really has.
And now these last second wins against Atlanta in week 1 and the Jets in week 3 don't really look that special.
Yeah.
Howell Mayo, thank you for the $10 super chat. Says Fire Bowles, he's not a guru, and he hasn't been. Lose to a 4-win team that set a franchise record for penalties. Strong as an interim and Foot call the defense. Charlie Strong is not going to be the interim coach. Yeah. Fire Bowles tomorrow.
I would, if anything, I'd want Larry Foot to be the interim.
Foot to be the interim.
Yeah. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Steve Masella.
He's the only defensive coach I think that's really
that cares.
Yeah. For real.
Steve Masella, thanks for this $6.99 super chat. Says, problem is, who can we get as a coach? But a change is needed. We should also blame our GM for this. Love the show, guys. You guys are great. Appreciate the kind words.
Love you guys. Here it is, 1:20. We're still going to keep going. They're not going to kick us out of the press box just yet. I probably have to leave by 2, though. As I risk being locked in Raymond James Stadium here. And but I mean, look at the numbers of you people staying up and participating in this and the questions, the comments. This is great. We love you guys. This community that you guys have built, because it's just the two of us. This is everybody. This is Buccaneer fans, Pewter people coming into this community. exchanging ideas, asking questions, commenting on each other's comments. It's fantastic. So kudos to you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, for real. Appreciate each and every one of you. Justin Files, thanks for the $9.99 super chat. Says coaching on both sides of the ball and Baker's health are obvious issues, but when do we start pointing the finger at Jason Light? A lot of his defensive draft picks just aren't good.
Yeah. Listen, we have not shied away from that. I've done 2 Pewter Pulse videos, and there will be more, where we've addressed those problems. And I think there's been several podcasts where we have brought this graphic up, and we're not going to go through it because we've done it before, but we'll do it again. But there's Jason and there's Todd, and here's the failed front 6 premium draft picks since 2018. Vita Vea is good. Yaya Diaby is okay. Everybody else is like, what? So we're not going to spend a lot of time on that, but yeah, we have mentioned it. We'll continue to mention it. It is not just a Todd Bowles thing. It's a Jason Light thing too. There's no escape for him.
Calibration of player assessment. And in all honesty, maybe less of a reliance on just your draft picks to, sprout and be this immediate impact. Like it's time to find some more players in free agency too. Not the whole team, but some of the team. Yep. June Win, thanks for the $4.99, says Baker feels like Russell Wilson when he was with the Broncos. Can't throw over the middle, 5 batted balls a game, and having happy feet takes a sack. He's not that far into Russell Wilson, but I kind of get what you're saying, especially with the happy feet. I mean, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Meets McGee, thanks for the $2 super chat, says defense was bad. Tony Dungy, sorry, let me start that again. Defense was so bad, Tony Dungy said, look at this shit show. They gave a nice shout out to Dungy on the broadcast.
Yeah, I don't know that word is in Tony's vocabulary.
Yeah, definitely
maybe after tonight. I don't know.
Yeah. K. Lear, too, thanks for the $5 super chat, says the Bucs secondary is not competently coached. They're constantly out of position. Bucs need a young coaching staff with new ideas and schemes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Nailed it.
Adrian Ricardo Builds, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says Panthers saw us lose twice before they came.
It's true.
Sad, but absolutely true.
Yeah. The Panthers have done nothing.
Yes.
Over the last 10 days and 11 days, whatever it is, and they're in the lead in the NFC South right now. Crazy.
That positivity by Dave Canales knows no bounds. Yep. Dante is no good. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Says Glazers will destroy this team by not caring, just like they are doing to Manchester United.
They care. You watch the documentary. They care, they have to be beside themselves tonight. I think they had Trent Cooper, who was the director of the acclaimed series Raise the Flags. I think he was in their suite tonight. That's what I heard from the scuttlebutt in the media and the press box. This was prime time. This is their house. This is national TV. This is the night of the Buccaneers, the Creamsicles. This was an epic failure on an epic night, and that's why I said this is not just a loss. This is not an L. This is an L plus. This counts more. This loss and that loss to the 3-win Saints team, those are L pluses. They count more than the loss to the Eagles earlier this year, the loss to the Patriots at home. Those were L's. These are L pluses. These sting.
This loss was gross. It was gross.
It was. Yep. Well said.
The Real Maverick, thanks for the $2 super chat, says, sorry guys, speechless, so just buying a small super chat. That's fine. I was speechless as well after that 4th and 14. I knew it was coming, and I was still speechless, especially because the guy that caught it, Sills, was the dude that dropped the wide open catch. Like that was a little bit of a tough catch to make, and he made it. So
yeah, Sills had to reach a certain amount of number for me to hit a parlay, and I knew he was going to. We talked about it on the
you did
on the pregame show, and
GBJR, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says assuming Bowles is done, who's the next head coach? It's got to be an offensive guy.
Yeah, this is not a good year. It's not a good year. We'll dive into that. There's plenty of time. We got to do the postmortem on the rest of the season. There's plenty of time. And you folks know, if you don't know, if you're new to Pewter Report, By God, man. Make sure you read pewterreport.com this offseason. Make sure that you watch the Pewter Report podcast. We will be live in Mobile at the Senior Bowl, live in Indy for the NFL Scouting Combine. Nobody covers the offseason, the coaching changes, the hirings, the firings, the free agency period, the draft. Nobody covers it like Pewter Report. So this is as much as we get like praise for our in-season coverage, our off-season coverage is just as good, if not even better, I think. So
yeah,
stay tuned.
Mopar Buck, thanks for the 1999 super chat. Says Jason Light built this. Do we really trust Light to properly build with a new head coach? He's got to stop getting credit for a magical 2020 free agency. He's been here too long now. It's time to move on from him. He's the soft culture.
I don't think that's the case, but he has made some very strategic mistakes. At the same time, I'll save that for the offseason. There's more that I can reveal later that I probably can't or shouldn't talk about right now. There'll be a time and a place for it, though.
I don't agree with the soft stuff, but it is interesting to think that, you can't take it out. But if it's not for Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, Light's overall track record doesn't look that spectacular. Now, he gets the credit for being able to attract those people.
I mean, here's the thing. He traded for Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yep.
He signed Shaq Barrett. Nobody, not even Jason, knew Shaq was going to be what he was. You're hoping to get an 8 to 10 sack guy. He got a 19 and a half sack guy, right? So that was like a little bonus there. Shaq was better than they thought he was going to be. But Jason also, and he got criticized for it because there's a lot of fans that love Gerald McCoy, 6-time Pro Bowler, and all and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Jason wasn't a fan, and he swapped him out for Ndamukong Suh, and he drafted Vita Vea. So it's like, as much as you want to like crap on Jason, and that's fine, you're entitled to your opinion. He knows what it's supposed to look like because he built it before. Now, has he strayed away from some of that? Yes, and we can throw that graphic up, on a later show. He drafted Vita Vea, good pick. He traded for Jason Pierre-Paul, great, fantastic move. He signed Shaq Barrett, and then he switched out McCoy for Suh. He built that front four. He knows what it's supposed to look like from everything from the production to the athletes to the alphas, all of that. And he hasn't been able to find that again, but he knows what it's supposed to look like. If he hadn't built it before, I'd be very, very concerned. He is recalibrating. And I think we've started to see them go away from the RAS score athletes, the Zions, the Yayas, the Kalijah Kansis, the Logan Halls, with getting a David Walker, with getting a Tyke Smith in the last couple drafts. More dogs, more guys that have instincts over athleticism. And I was texting with Ronde Barber the other night. I'm like, the best Buccaneer players, think about this for a second. The best Buccaneer players in Tampa Bay history, the Mount Rushmore, right, on defense. A fat, loudmouth defensive tackle. Very athletic, but sloppy body. Warren Sapp. Derek Brooks, a guy that if you didn't know he was Derek Brooks walking down the street, he looks like he's built like a safety. He's one of the best linebackers of all time. John Lynch, bow-legged, white dude, hard hitter, cerebral, right? Ronde Barber, 5'10", 180-pound corner. Third round pick. None of those guys were the prototype. None of those guys were the mold where you sit there and say that's the guy. None of them had the JTS body. None of them had the RAS score of Zion McCollum. They were football players. Smart, instinctive, tough, physical, desire, tons of intangibles, right?
Yeah.
Those were the guys. And when you start drafting athletes, like the old saying, look like Tarzan, play like Jane. And they've done that. And I think Todd Bowles has wanted some of those guys. And I think, and I'm not saying this is all on Todd now. I'm not trying to get Jason off the hook. But they need some dudes and they need some dogs. And if you look at the LA Rams, how quickly they rebuilt their front seven when they lost Aaron Donald. Jared Verse is a dude. Braden Fisk is a dude. They got some dogs up front. And some of those guys are good athletes too. Don't get me wrong. You need to have X amount of athleticism to play. But at the end of the day, you gotta have some nasty, you gotta have some dog, you gotta have the alpha personality. You gotta be tough, physical, have good instincts. And some of these guys don't have those traits, fortunately.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like they have a guy on the defensive side that has the ability to take over a game. Antoine Winfield Jr. had it, but I don't know. That's escaped in the last 2 years, last 2 seasons. Hewitt Grant, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, Scott, you keep saying defense, but Baker is in keep, especially at the end of the game, to end it, and we won't be having this discussion.
You're right.
It's like, wow, great, but the defense is a major issue.
Yeah.
The offense had some true blemishes that would probably erase some of the deficiencies that the Bucs defense has. If Baker Mayfield doesn't throw that interception tonight, let's win the game, in my opinion. I mean, who knows? Maybe they lose yards and have to punt or whatever the case, but I think that interception really started.
How many field goals did the Falcons make tonight? How many field goals did they kick?
I think just one at the end.
Right.
Or maybe two. Maybe
so
two.
They gave up 4 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
You turn one of those into a field goal, right? And of course, one of those was Zion jumping up sides,
Right, that's what it was. Yeah, they did try a field goal and then it went offsides.
Yeah.
Jeff Vahanic, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Says Monday will be fix your franchise on the NFL Stock Exchange with Trevor Sikkema and Connor Rogers. I'll definitely watch that. I'm a big fan of. Well, obviously we all love Trevor, but big fan of Connor Rogers as well. He's awesome. David Weber, thanks for the $4.99. Post game on Prime, you could hear fans chanting "Fireballs" louder than the interviews. Interesting.
Yep.
I have it on mute, obviously, but some people were in the comments saying that they were chanting it during the game. So, hey, you pay your money, you pay your ticket to go there. You can boo the head coach that has, lost you several.
I get about 10 minutes, and I get a bail. So,
all right, I'll do the show solo.
It's 1:30 here, but we'll get a couple more of these super chats. I got about 10 minutes, and then I got to get kicked out of the press box here.
All right, Chris Holmes, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says Mike yelling at Bowles tells you everything. Was he yelling at Bowles or just yelling in general? I thought he was just
yelling in general, but he's probably yelling at the defense for blowing.
Yeah, for sure.
2 touchdown lead.
June Wynn, thanks for the $9.99 super chat. Says ever since Devin White wanted to get paid light, it's been drafting a bunch of soft players. Hall, Braswell, Barton, Otten, Voss, Nelly, Zion. He said it himself. He doesn't draft a-holes.
Probably needs to.
Recalibrate.
James Pierce was not on the draft board, and I don't know. He was kind of dominating tonight, I thought. Right.
Mr. King 03, thanks for the $2 super chat. Says screw it, sell out, and trade for Kevin O'Connell. I think that'd be dope, but I don't think the Bucs are gonna do that. I don't think the Vikings win it. David Zussman, thanks for the $19.99 super chat. Says, how's it possible after so many amazing signings by Light, do the players get soft for too much talent? Why our great middle linebackers cannot cover? Why our rushers cannot get to Kirk Cousins? Fire Jason Light. Tough one. Oh God, I lost my place. Oh, where were we? Buck for Life, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Says, this is not like Dungy. Gruden coaching change isn't enough to save this sorry-ass roster. 2002 had stars. We have losers. Teams get dogs. We get crap. Understandable. Ryan H. has now been a Pewter Report YouTube channel member for 10 months now. We appreciate it. Says, it seems we've quietly slipped into a decade of mediocrity. I guess that's the next step up from darkness. What a shame for Mike Levante and Chris after everything they've been through. Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're getting paid a lot of money, too. And they did find success later in their career. David Weber, thanks for the $4.99. Says, Winfield keeps picking guys up in the air on his tackles, then blowing the next play. Winfield had an odd game. A lot of tackles, but got beat a lot. Kyle Pitts beat him over the middle. Didn't like what I initially saw from Antoine Winfield Jr. Daniel Fischel, thanks for the $1.99. Says, Todd Eureka's moment is that he's not a head coach. It's looking that way with how he's played. Dom Mazza, thanks for the 490. Says, just got back from the game. I had end zone seats, 3rd and 28. Why are we blitzing? I thought they didn't blitz on the play. You're muted, Scott. I think you're muted, Scott. No? Is it me? All right. Anyway, moving on. Goonba 499 chat says the most damning thing Todd Bowles said this season is that Zion was bored, poor coaching, and accountability. All right. Trey Alderson, Cloudy Air, thanks for the 499 super chat. Says walkthroughs suck. Next year, pads every practice. It's the reason we have so many injuries too. Their bodies can't handle a game. Yeah, too many walkthroughs has been a big issue for this team. That's why they're not winning football games. Corey M. Robbins, thanks for the 499 super chat. Says if Zane Gonzalez was the Falcons kicker from week 1, the Bucs would have got swept by them. 3rd and 28, rough watching. Evans leaves early. I don't know. I mean, especially when he took that hit. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, Scott's earphones aren't working, so gonna go solo dolo the rest of the way. Corey Robbins, yeah, that's a really good point, Corey Robbins. If he can't go, or if I'm Mike, I might just be done after the season. The way that the season's ending and the way that he almost got pummeled on that last drive, certainly not easy by any means. Mr. King, thank you for this $5 super chat. Let me just thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, guess I'm a Texans fan now. I actually like watching good/great defenses. The keep pounding pause got this division. I think that's going to be really close down the stretch. And I have the Texans in fantasy football, so I'm a big fan of their defense as well. They take it to every team. It does not matter who your offense is. And ever since they got C.J. Stroud back, I mean, C.J. Stroud's not playing like he was his rookie year, but, that's certainly a formidable team that's gotten better, being the anti-Bucs. Jay Cruz, thanks for the 9 chat. Says, when Bowles went with an all-out blitz against the Rams in the final minute in the divisional round, I knew he wasn't it. Talent has covered his outdated defense and lifeless approach. Please fire him. It very much does feel like the defense is outdated because this is like 2 seasons in a row where it's not just that they're getting beat the same way time and time again. And they're letting the worst players in the league have monumental, and again with Kirk Cousins. I mean, I don't know who the Falcons play next week, but I'm sure Kirk Cousins is going to back to, the awful play and long. Herzog, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says, bet Todd retires before. Where the Falcons or where the Bucs say, Todd, we're going to let you go, but we'll give you the opportunity to just kind of step down as head coach. Could be the case. They've done that with assistant coaches before. Florida boy in Atlanta, thanks for the $9.99 super chat, says, agreed that Todd Bowles is a great guy. He's been paid well and will be fine, but is not getting the job done. For sure. I mean, he is getting paid a lot of money. I just think that the personal insults aren't necessarily warranted. He is a good man. He's just not doing a good job coaching this football team. Ted Ragland, thanks for the $2 super chat. Who is your top head coaching candidate? I'd say probably Clint Kubiak. I want to lean towards Nate. I always get his last name wrong, but Shieldhouse. It's just he's never called plays, so it'd be tough to make the jump to head coach right away. I also wouldn't mind Greg from the ranks. Lane Kiffin again would be great, but the timing wouldn't work with LSU or just going to LSU. C.A. Reeves, thanks for the $4.99. Says Grizz needs to scheme shorter passes like Cohen to get Baker back in rhythm. The game has passed Bowles by. Lavonte David looked defeated like I've never seen. This is going to be Levante's last year. I mean, he's just getting beat all the time. And Baker needs to play in rhythm. I don't think it's a surprise, like the touchdown to Godwin. He was really in rhythm then, connecting on some passes. I want to see a little bit more up-tempo, no huddle. And yeah, the shorter passes have worked. Now, when you get Mike, the deep passes are functional, and Jalen McMillan had some, deep plays down the field. But there's a happy medium, and I don't think Josh Broussard has reached that yet. Sap Drive, thanks for the $2 super chat, says, if I see another soft zone, I'm going to throw up. I'm done with zone. Play man-to-man the rest of the season. Spontaneous Tone, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says, what is your opinion on the offensive line? They saw Malk and Bredesen. I think Tristan Wirfs, one of the tops in the league. I like Luke Gedeke. Graham Barton, I think, is hurting from not having great guards next to him. I would put on Baker tonight, though. Sometimes if the pressure is there, you just got to throw the ball away. Too many times he's dancing. He's not making the throw early when guys are open, and he's going to try to rush and scramble and make a big play, and then he's just not able to. So don't love what I've seen from the O-line, but it's more than capable of getting the job done and winning games. Trey Alderson Cloudier, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says, Kirby Smart, please. I think that'd be cool. I just don't see him leaving Georgia. Nick Dubuque, thanks for being a Pewter Report YouTube channel member for 6 months now. Says, love the passion, guys, in this podcast, and thank you so much for your support. Thanks for the refreshing reality check on this team. This game hurts, but likely best for the Bucs long term. Defensive head coach getting gashed over the middle. Thanks, friends. Appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. We got to call it like we see it. If they're playing well, we'll identify things that they've done well with. If they're going to suck ass like they did tonight, we're going to say why they sucked ass. I try to find positives in some of this. Again, going back to having all 4 wide receivers healthy, I think made a huge in this game. That's why statistically Baker had one of his better games than he's had, over the last month. But it's just not enough for Tampa Bay right now. They turtled in the biggest moment offensively, also with some terrible, terrible clock management as well. And then the defense didn't get the job done. So there's a lot of reasons. Cecil D58, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Says, we are sadly missing a Ndamukong Suh and Ryan Jensen type of guy. Also, why is it always conservative play calling? Run up the score and blitz, damn it. Ugh, I've been sitting in the seat for too long. I have no idea why they did not blitz. You have to blitz. It was the only way they were getting to Kirk Cousins. Todd Bowles just refused to. They are missing ass kickers. Luke Gedeke is kind of taking the Ryan Jensen role of being a fire starter and getting guys' faces, but he did miss a majority of this season as well. I think it's got to be no more Mr. Nice Guy on this team, on offense and defense. Marshall Walker, thanks for the $4.99. Says, at times it did seem like players on defense were not hustling. How did that happen? Tuning out coaches, tuning out the message, thinking that they got it, but when they don't got it, actually just a little bit by, playing such bad football over the past month, really since the bye. Wow. Design offsides penalty hurt bad. His tackling, his coverage, the angles he's been taking, what's going on? I think it's a confidence issue. He's trying to make up for having such a poor, really, season overall. I was going to say first half of the season, but it's been the second half too. And that interception against the Saints isn't enough to, rewrite the history of this year. So he's pressing. He's trying to make plays because of it, and then hurts the team with the offsides penalty. Tristan G, thanks for the $4.99 super. As this franchise has been set back for years, keeping Bowles, weak head coaching, hiring cycle. Baker isn't the future. Dark age is coming back fast. I wouldn't go that far because there's still, in my opinion, enough talent on this team where they can win games if they have the right coaches in place. And yes, it's not the best head coaching hiring cycle, but it just takes the one head coach to find the right one to get this team back on track. And Baker Mayfield said tonight, too. They are too talented of a team to be playing this bad. So they could still beat the Panthers and then get into the postseason. Drillman32, thanks for the $5 super chat, says, Every loss looks the same. It shouldn't. We lose in every predictable way, either too aggressive or too soft. Every team has a chance to beat us. Yeah, Bucs can beat the best team and then lose to the worst team in the league. And they already did. Well, one of the worst teams, with the Saints, they already did so. Just the way the season has gone for this team. Adam Gonzalez, thanks for the $2 super chat, says we need an edge star like Parsons or Myles Garrett. I would love for the Bucs. I mean, Michael Parsons now. The Cowboys already made that deal with the Packers, so he's going to be a Packer. I would love for the Bucs to go after Myles Garrett. I know he's a little bit older. I don't care. He's making history. I don't know if the Browns would trade him, though. Mr. King, thanks for the $2 super chat, says Rondé thinks Bull's seat is cold. Show. Don't know about that. I think Rondé might have a different tune when he comes today. Monster Jam Fever has been a Pewter Report 2 months now. Thank you so much. Says Clint Kubiak could be a possibility for head coach. Our offense is bright spots and is attractive for an coach. There are things to like about this Bucs team that would want other coaches and coordinators around the league to interview for a head coaching job with Tampa Bay if it does come about. So I think Clint Kubiak would be interested in coaching the Bucs if it becomes available. Meets McGee, thanks for the $2 super chat, says Jason Light haters. He's still the best GM in our history. For sure. I don't think Jason Light needs to go. I just think the Bucs need to recalibrate what they view in terms of bringing in talent and maybe not always just relying on development from a draft class. Like, you certainly need that, but it doesn't have to be 100% of like why you get skillful players. Like, don't be afraid to go in free agency. Coast to Coast Kyle, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says Baker's the QB we need or just the attitude we need? I think the attitude needs to change for sure. Not just with Baker, the whole team. They need an attitude adjustment. Shout out to John Cena, who's retiring on Saturday night, will be his last match. So looking forward to watching that. I was kind of sad about it too. But yeah, they need a John Cena attitude adjustment. I think Baker fully healthy is fine, but he's limited right now because of his injuries, and it's not helping out the team, which is one of the many big issues for the squad. I lost my spot. My apologies. Okay. Found it. Boulam Seba, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Says definitely change in coaching needed and spend all the capital defense next year, especially pass rush and inside linebackers. Yeah, I mean, they might have to be replacing 2 inside linebackers in terms of starting when and if they did. But yeah, I think edge rusher has to be the number one upgrade on the defensive side, in my opinion. Blueberry 6'9" says free money. We can ship with a replica of the Titan. Let's go. A good joke. Sebastian Scalera, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. SRQ Salt, thanks for the $1.99, says, well, SR Far Cry from the Buccaneer magazine teams. Yeah, Scott's been doing this for 30 years now. He's seen some bad football teams. Lucas Crane, thanks for the $10 super chat, says, this has got to be one of the saddest losses I've seen suffer. I am a Bulls fan, but this is unacceptable. This team's talent isn't being utilized. Changes need to be made. Yeah, I mean, I've not covered the team as long as Scott has, but that has to go down as one of the worst choke job losses that I've seen from the Bucs since covering them. BA's first year, when they lost to the Giants, when Daniel Jones had his first career start, when they blew that against the Giants. That's up there as one of the worst losses. The losses to the Saints in the regular season in 2020 and 2021 is probably up there as well. But the Bucs got the last laugh, winning the Super Bowl. So, okay, moving along. Appreciate each and every one of you. It is 1:51 in the morning on the East Coast, at least here in Tampa And y'all are still rocking and rolling with us. Scott's headphones died, and he's going to get kicked out of Raymond James Stadium anyway. So he's on his way home, but I'm still rocking with y'all. So we'll go as late as we freaking want to. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you to Lucas Crane for this $5 super chat. Who says, Baker has struggled, but I still believe in him. Get an offensive coach who is committed to building around Baker and these talented receivers. I mean, yeah, we saw what Baker did last year with Liam Cohen as the operator. And who knows if Mike wants to keep playing, but Mike certainly showed tonight that he's still got it. So there's plenty of things that they could still build around. It's just a matter of getting it right. Sorry, I'm like going back and forth your comments and super chats and all this stuff. Trying to find the right spot. Got to that. Got to that. Blueberry, SRQ Salt, Lucas Crane. Okay, cool. Trey Bradford, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. B. Shucker, thanks for the $10 super chat. Says, wow, 1:30 and there's 1,000 people still in the chat. Holy hell, guys! Team touched a nerve, perhaps. Hey, the Bucs fans have every right to be pissed off and angry based on how they lost this game tonight. And I appreciate each and every one of you, and I appreciate you, B. Shucker, as well, for still watching the show. FLTB, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says Monty Kiffin is rolling over in his grave. RIP Monty Kiffin, defensive mastermind, and so important to the Bucs' first Super Bowl championship. Probably not happy with how this defense looked. Black Gold 1999. Thank you for this $49.99 super chat. It says 3rd and 28. All I have to say, good night, Irene. That was just freaking atrocious and awful, allowing 3rd and 28 to get to 4th and 14, and then they convert on the 4th and 14. Just inexcusable, inexplicable, and awful football by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, that's why they lost the game tonight. They lost for a couple of reasons, but that one was certainly glaring. Kings are awful. Thanks for the $2 super chat. It says BA would bench every person that lost the fumble. Yeah, I don't understand how they didn't get that fumble. You had nothing but defensive players in creamsicle jerseys trying to go for the football. And yet you couldn't get it. And then you couldn't hold on to the ball after the strip sack on Kirk Cousins. It's just mind-numbingly Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just awful. In several. They could sound by beating the Panthers, but I'm just going to pick them to beat the Panthers. Really? Come on. Bradford, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. It says Jason Light is a great GM in my opinion. We have great players, and the quarterback, I believe, can take us all the way. Just need a head coach to act with passion. See, everything that Todd Bowles said in the post-game press conference with the F-bombs and everything like that, it needed to be done during the game. He wasn't proactive. He was reactive. And that I didn't like. The Real Maverick, thanks for the $5 super chat, says the defense is trash. I've supported Todd Bowles and stayed positive. His tenure, but he is a head coach, defensive coordinator. You can't be this bad on defense. He needs to go. Hey, if they don't make the playoffs, if they lose out, he's all but guaranteed to be gone. If they don't make the playoffs, probably likely that he, doesn't survive the season, but we'll see. By the way, just going to get a quick plug in there as well. Shout out to Splash Sports. Could have made a lot of money tonight If you took some of my picks on Pewter Picks and Props, you can download the Splash Sports app and join over 2.5 million people playing on Splash Sports, the home for Survivor, Pick'em, and Quick Picks. Whether you want to create your own contest with friends or take a shot at life-changing prize pools, Splash Sports has got you covered. You get the best matchup boost in all of daily fantasy sports over at Splash Sports. You can turn $20 into $1,000 with all the multipliers and the boost that they can have. So download the Splash Sports app. You can do it on the QR code. Even though the Bucs game is done tonight, you got a full slate of games on Sunday that you can get those quick picks in only on Splash Sports. Okay, one more super chat to go. Chris Worthen, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, can't recover fumble, Baker, interception, and missed pass to Ibuka. Inexcusable. Defense can't make a stop in time. 4th and 14 conversion. All. That's right. It wasn't just one player or one play. It was a full-on combination of why the Buccaneers lost tonight, going hand in hand of why they have played such atrocious football since coming out of the bye. It's a lot of different things, but really all it says is that this team is 7-7. They no longer control their own destiny in the NFC South. They could, again, if the Saints beat the Panthers. But who sees that happening? For real. For real. By the way, we forgot to mention our Pewter Platinum members. We'll do that on tomorrow's show. It's getting pretty late. It's 1:58. You know what? Screw it. We're up late anyway. Got to give a shout out to our Pewter Platinum members. Thank you so much for your support of PewterReport.com. I'm talking about Scott Federico, Scotty J, Rachel Gordon, Noah Parr, Dave Anderson, Eric McMillan, Hezo81, Cool, Joel L. Rican, Sam, John Dale Morris, Zap, Branikin, RP89, Kevin Thomas, Mario Thomas, Leighton Carter, Doug I is Gifted, Alec Bickler, Nick Buke, Dominic Tarrant, HK, Maverick, Brayon Pinkney, Brian Chucker, Black 1989, Steven Zool, King James 813, Fear the Crew, Henry Gigante, Hittner, Kyle, Monster PC, Snowflake 937, and Hemp Tim. Thank you all so much for your support of PewterReport.com. Really, really appreciate each and every one of you. We've been doing the show. So last week Sunday we did 2 hours and 20 minutes. I don't think we're going to get to that tonight. But thank you everyone so much for all of your super chats, for staying up late. It's about to be 2 a.m. in the morning here on the East Coast. Todd Bowles is speaking at 8:30. Watching on the West Coast somewhere else too. Appreciate you all so much. Sorry the Bucs didn't win. I know it's been excruciating with how bad they've been playing. But it's cool to have this support system of letting everyone say what they want to say, feel how they want to feel, and all for wanting this team to be better. So that's going to do it tonight's show. Again, tomorrow, we're going to do it at noon, though. So Todd Bowles is speaking at 8:30. We will have our show at noon to kind of recap what Todd had to say and review this game all over once again. So it will be at noon, not at 4, at noon. And then no shows over the weekend. I'm actually going to try to forget about Bucs football. We'll be watching a lot of NFL on Sunday, along with John Cena's retirement match on Saturday night's main event on Saturday, and then football on Sunday. But we're coming back with a bang on Monday, as well as Rondé Barber, the NFL Hall of Famer, Bucs Ring of Honor member. That's right, NFL Hall of Famer, Bucs Ring of Honor member, joins us at 4 o'clock on Monday. So podcast tomorrow at noon, Rondé Barber on the podcast Monday at 4 o'clock. If you're not already doing so, please make sure you're following us on all of our social media on X, Facebook, and we're at, and our YouTube channel is Port TV. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment on this video. How freaking angry are you at the Tampa Buccaneers pondering and choking away a 14-point lead in tonight's game on in Creamsicle jerseys, Hanukkah, and all the holidays and the holiday season? How pissed are you at that? And while you're at it, follow me on my social media at Matty4_Matera. It's been nice letting it all out with everybody. I wish we were talking about a Bucs win, but unfortunately we are not. But that's going to do it for tonight and this morning's show. Again, we'll be back at it tomorrow at noon and then on Monday with Rondé Barber at 4 o'clock. So until then, for Scott Reynolds, who dipped out, he's on his way home, I'm Matt Matera saying thank you so much for all of your support. Sorry the Bucs didn't win. Appreciate you all rocking and rolling with us, and we will see you later today for another edition of the Pewter Report podcast. Out.